Samir sir, we are live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do we start? Tanuji, do you want me to wait for a few seconds or we start?
I think that will be good. Just wait for a minute or so before
Yeah,
we
let
start.
some people come in.
Yes, yes, yes.
Why is this slide have, why does it have faint black or gray lines or boxes and so on? This is some previous slide, it looks like, and it was typed on that. It's not clear. It's not clean, brother.
Samir sir, shall we start?
Yes, why not? I'm good to go. Yeah. So hi, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you present here. Let me take this opportunity to thank ISDSI Global Conference 2022 teams, JAXOM, ASMA, to put together such a fantastic, highly curated and focused event. Also a curtain raiser for the mega event which happens in December, one of the marquee events in the field of research data, where academicians and industry comes together. I'm fortunate to introduce you to some stellar personalities in the field of data, IoT, technology, marketing, with amazing experience. So what we are going to do for the next 40-45 minutes, I'm going to hand over the mics to the people who matter the most in this field of data and technology. And they are going to really help us to understand some concepts on how the world is moving today when it comes to decision sciences, how to use technology, how to be present in a digital world. Friends, today, if we are talking about data being the oil, then digitalization is the highway, IoT, AI, ML, blockchain, all the vehicles. And it's high time that we understand how this impacts our academic world, as well as how do we create a sustainable business model in the digital world, which combines profits, which combines planet, and of course, it combines people. So this is all we are going to go through today evening. It's my honor and privilege to introduce you and welcome Dr. Vithala Rao, Malott Professor of Management at the prestigious Cornell University. Sir is also a PhD in Applied Economics from the prestigious Wharton University, and his experience in the areas of quantitative marketing is phenomenal. And sir, we would like to invite you, thank you for giving your time today. And also tell us what is happening in this world of data and what is the implication in the industry, in academics. What is happening, sir? And how do we look at academicians as students, more as researchers, and industry? What happens next?
Good. You can start the slides now. Thank you for your invitation. Yes, yeah. Now, data science, okay, that you have already covered. You can go to the next slide. That is the introduction that you have already done. Let's go to the next one. Now there's one missing here. Anyway, the topic which I will be discussing for a few minutes is recent developments in data science. Now, data science is a newly emerging academic area. As was pointed out, it is enabled by technology, computer science, big data, internet, and AI methods. Now, I want to first contrast that with business analytics, which most people would know. Business analytics has the origin of the operations research, which was developed in the Second World War. Now that has grown over a period of time, and there is a professional society called Informs, which essentially owns this topic. And business analytics is a way of applying management science and operations research techniques to a variety of business problems. And basically, they use optimization and statistical analysis. Now, data science, on the other hand, grew out of statistics and computer science. And the objective is to harness big data that is evolving because of the digitization of our work, basically, many websites, and most people participate, they're members of it, they contribute to it. And these data are more sometimes structured, sometimes unstructured. And these two fields are interdependent and symbiotic. The reason for bringing this is the impression the data science is completely new, it is independent. It is not, it is interdependent with what is going on in business analytics. As I know it, there's no professional society per se that owns this body of academic area. Go to the next slide, please. Okay. Now there is a number of disciplines which actually are coming together when we talk about data science and business analytics. And here is a kind of a crude diagram to show, database management is one side, artificial intelligence and computer science is other, machine learning, finance, these are all the various, we can draw more circles, but when you go into this, the basic disciplines happen to be statistics, probability, computer science, artificial engineering, intelligence, and so on. The applications are diverse. As I said before, the economics, operations management, marketing, finance, and so on. A recent area that is evolving is called causal inference. It's not essentially new, but it is it has taken a big resurgence. Also might point out that statistics originated basically Sir Fisher, Ronald Fisher. I think anybody who studies statistics, they would know that. There is lots of statistical tests based on that. Now, his area, that concept has become much more fundamental now for causal inference. I will allude to that in a little minute. Let's go to the next slide. Now, over the last 10 years or so, there will be a lot of things happening, and the industry, particularly McKinsey and Company, they developed a report called Big Data Analytics. It came in 2011, and that has, in a way, made people more aware of what's going on. And for the words analytics, artificial intelligence, data science are the hottest studied areas in the PhD programs. Now, every organization, both business and academia, they're trying to obtain insights from data. They get data from their customers, suppliers, and other sources at large. And they want to find insights from this. But as an example, a hotel, when people stay there, they ask them for the report, and they travel TripAdvisor, other sources, get some reports. There's a questionnaire that are filled in, and they become the data on trying to evaluate how the hotel is operated, how satisfied people are. Now, the job of data scientists is becoming very common, and it is also one of the highly paid jobs at this point. The focus has been, in the beginning, structured questionnaires, and data coming from there. It has moved from there to semi-structured, like speech, text, image, video analysis. These are the new things, and these are difficult, but that is where work is going on by computer scientists, and they're being applied back in data science. Let's go to the next slide. Now, if you go forward, there are the rollout of the 5G in many countries is enabled the propagation of information from one place to the other much more quickly. And that is going to happen. I understand India actually has launched 5G in certain areas. Therefore, the many applications, immediate application is what's called the metaverse, where they connect people and in multiple ways. And augmented reality is one, virtual reality is one. And there are many applications. Again, these are repetition. But one thing I should point out, this virtual reality in the sports arena is called esports. Therefore, people really do not have to go to physically somewhere to watch a sport, but the esports is enabling people to watch these things virtually. This is a new area. There's a lot of money here, a lot of funds, a lot of advertising, and so on. That's an example of it. And healthcare is another emerging area. Now, I should point out the AR and VR. There is an academic workshop that is run in the conference on this topic. So just to connect it to the conference. Next slide, please. Now, one of the important things we need to worry about when there is so much data coming out and so much data being stored and analyzed and propagated, the question comes up about the individual privacy. This is a serious question, and there are many, on safety issues of the data and organizations complying with the regulations that are there, and then new regulations coming along. One country or one area which has made big developments in this is GDPR. This is coming from Europe. This is to protect data privacy for individuals, and It gives guidance as to how organizations can collect those data, how they can store them, how they can deal with them. That is something people have to keep in mind. And these rules are there almost in any country, but GDPR has codified them into one. It's actually, it'll be education if one just looks at the report, what GDPR does. What it does is it brings a comprehensive law, which rather than patchwork of various singular laws. Now, these technologies are being used to solve social problems and increase food production. This is something which I might say, the information that you can get can be used as to what is the right time to sow the seeds, when to add more water, when to add fertilizer and all that. That is an area where Cornell University, which is very big agriculture, which has a big agriculture department, they really spend a lot of time in that. And then we also worry about the social development goals, and it can also go to promoting world peace. Now, this is the background. What I'm pointing out is this area has got a lot of applications, and these technologies can be used. Where it goes is not very clear. It all depends on the people who are doing it and also the laws that might govern it. Now let me go to much more a detailed way. Let's go to the next slide, please. Can I move the slides? No. Can you hear me? Is it? Okay, good. Now, I tried to classify these data into 3 categories, and there could be many other ways one can do this. The first column, which I call standard marketing data, actually standard data, and the age-old survey methods and experiments, and also data that are there in financial reports, archival data, panel data that is getting data from the same people over multiple time periods, and then media ratings. AC Nielsen has made a big name on this, and many other organizations that do this, those ratings data. And of course, companies have their own data, sales and price and advertising and so on. Now, this is where the data used to be, but as we have moved on, there are many other sources of data, types of data that have evolved. I call column B as unstructured data. These data are qualitative research coming from focus groups or in-depth interviews and so on. And the other is service and product reviews. As I mentioned, in the hotel case, TripAdvisor retains these data. Those are the review data that are available. And videos that are put out by organizations, they can be analyzed. And consumers, when they search internet for information, those data are being stored and captured. That is consumer search data. And the other thing is when you're collecting data from individuals, people also collect their physiological measurements. They want to see whether they are, what their blood pressure is, what the changes are taking place in facial movements. And those, the eye tracking, this is a new area that is evolving. It has been around, but in the lab, it has gone into the field. In fact, I'm currently working, very excited about this project. I'm working on a research project on visual design. How do you design furniture in a room? And there's a lot of implications for that. I'm working with some colleagues in Cambridge University on this. The other is neuroscience related data. And that is you tap the brain as what kinds of changes are taking place. These are expensive, but of course, those machinery are becoming cheaper. Therefore, this may be a new area that is coming along. And the last column, these are not exhaustive, but these are selected data sources. The last column is what I call social network data, where people collect relationships among people. Who communicates with whom, how many times, what do they do? That is one set of data. The other is social games data. People play these games. These are for fun and pleasure. And an example is the Farmville game. And one of my PhD students collected this data, and we wrote a nice paper on this, how to analyze the social games data. And the last work is postings to social media. People, of course, post things to Facebook or Twitter and so on. I'm a member of Facebook, and I get these postings, and people post pictures, write some notes, and those data are available, and they're going to be used. These are the network data. And of course, people respond to that. That is a whole set of data. These are examples of data that are there, and analysis are being done for the benefit of, they want to solve more academic problems as well as applied problems with those data. Let's go to the next slide. This will be the last slide in this set of presentations here. I want to spend a couple of minutes on this. Now, when people think of analyzing data, and there are simple computer programs that enable one to do this. I mean, the Microsoft Excel is an example, and people do a lot of analysis with that. There is that software is quite advanced, is becoming more and more advanced. But that is common, but independent of that, now there are many analyses that can be done. One column, a choice analysis. What do you choose when you have alternatives? And there are many ways in which you can analyze that. These are the methods here. There is a logit, probit, and so on. The other is when you have multiple observations, one would like to develop a model. We have outcome variables such as sales or something. And then on the variable that influence outcome can be categorized into two types. One is what the firm can manage or control. The other is they are not controllable, they have to be taken as given. So the simple model is outcome is a function of controllable variables and uncontrollable variables. Now that functional relationship has to be understood. Once you understand that, then you have information on the uncontrollable variables, then you can optimize to see what can be done. Example, how to set price, how much advertising should be done, and so on. The methods for this have evolved over a period of time. They're basically multivariate analysis methods, and you can see the list here, clustering, factor analysis, and so on. Now, one thing I would like to point out, last two items here, called the BANOVA, which is analysis of variance, but with Bayesian methods. Now, Bayesian methods has been around for a long time, but they have been more intense in application in the last 20 years or so. There's BANOVA methods. BANOVA is an analysis variance with Bayesian approach. The last one I call it copula methods. These are two sets of variables and you want to relate them, you want to understand their distributions, and connecting them, there is a copula that is, as you can understand the word itself, the origin is two things coming together. There's a whole set of methods that are there. Now, the econometric techniques, the simple thing which you can do on Excel is OLS. OLS is ordinary least squares method, regression. Then many other ways, two-stage generalized least squares, generalized method of movements, and so on. These are, now for the unstructured data, if we look to the side, we have machine learning methods. And they can be categorized into three main groups: supervised learning, unsupervised, and semi-supervised. There's also something called reinforcement learning, but we will leave that. Now, these are the methods that are out there. One of the things that is evolved over recently is random forest, and that is something interesting to see. Also, I should mention that in the conference, there are some workshops on specific machine learning techniques like text mining and so on. The last one, as I mentioned before, is the evolving one is a causal inference. This gets back to Salman and Fisher, and many methods have evolved. And these are, there's no reason to enumerate them here, but they are this an evolving area of data science. Now, the last two things rose here, I just mentioned. Basically, the estimation methods are based on maximum likelihood and also Bayesian methods. And Bayesian methods are MCMC. This is Markov chain, Monte Carlo. This is a technique that has been evolved over a period of time. There are many software available for that. One of them is called WinBugs. And then the other thing is, when I said the model there, one wants to know how good the fit is of the data to the model, or model to the data, whichever way you want to look at it. There are many fit measures. This is log marginal likelihood, AIC is IKK criterion, BIC R squared, and so on. And I listed here lots of methods, software, SPSS, which is little more advanced than Excel, SAS, LIMDEP, and so on. Those are the techniques that are out there. Now, what I want to say is the newer methods are appearing almost every day in journals, and hard to keep up with that. And causal inference is one that is an important one. Okay, let me leave here, and you may have more questions. I'll come back and talk about the conference, and I relate this to these things to the conference. Okay, let me pass this on to my colleague, the next speaker in this webinar, Dr. Chattopadhyay. He will be describing some applications of this. Okay.
Thank you.
Next slide.
Thank you very much, Rao sir, for putting these things together. I'm sure in the conference with the 11 tracks which are going to be there, we are going to discuss and understand all of this in detail.
I will be describing the tracks.
Yes, I'm going to invite you again, sir, to describe the conference and how these things fall in place together.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So welcome Dr. Tuhin Chattopadhyay, sir, a celebrated scientist among the top 10 data scientists awarded personality. Dr. Tuhin, we would like to know from you, Rao sir explained a lot of things about data science, business analytics, but what are the actual practical use case application? Where is this used? Whether it is in academia, whether it is in the industry, whether it's healthcare, whether it is cyber security, shopping, marketing, where is this actually used? Probably you can share some ideas on that. Where are we in the curve today?
Sure, Dr. Samir. Sure. Mind sharing the deck, please? Mind sharing the slide, please?
Rahul, can you share the PPT, please?
Yeah, so this has been discussed, so we can move to the next one. Yeah. So let me clarify where lies the applications, and honestly, no decisions in business can be taken without the applications of analytics. Gone are those days when the business decisions would have been taken based on experience, based on gut feelings. It doesn't happen like that. It has to be taken on precise decision science methods. So what we're going to do is that we will take 4 or 5 the key business streams or the functional areas of management like marketing, finance, supply chain, systems, retail, and we will figure out that how we can apply analytics in taking the decisions in each of these functional areas. So let's start with the marketing piece. The first piece is the marketing mix modeling. We all know that how marketing mix is critical in generating the sales. Like marketing mix includes the prices, the promotions, but the question that gets answered by analytics is, what's the impact of the price on the sales? What are the impact of the different types of promotions on sales? It can be the traditional media, it can be the digital media. Digital media includes the Google ads, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, YouTube ads can be skippable, non-skippable. Traditional media, we all know, like the TV, radio, newspapers. So what exactly is the impact? And that's very critical because every dollar, every marketing penny matters. And the next one, marketing budget optimization, is the next layer, the next obvious corollary, I would say, from the marketing mix modeling. Because once we know the impact of each of these marketing tools, how I can allocate my marketing kitty, the marketing budget across the different promotional channels. So we use multiple promotional techniques, multiple optimization techniques there. The traditional techniques can be the optimization techniques of integer programming, or even the linear, nonlinear programming, but then we use the more advanced techniques nowadays, like genetic algorithms, like the swarm optimization, like the ant colony optimizations. So a lot of optimization techniques comes in allocating the marketing budget to the right avenue so that the sales are maximized. We have to also understand here that it is not that so simple. It's not so simple because the sales and the investment don't take a kind of steep curve. After a certain point of time, the sales increases at a decreasing level, even if you keep investing to the promotional channels. So it's very important to understand the inflection point, and then those becomes the constraints of our model. Customer segmentation is equally critical for the simple reason that one size doesn't fit all. We need to create the homogeneous groups of the customers. Why? Because once we create the homogeneous groups through different modeling techniques, one most popular is the cluster analysis. Once we create that, then it becomes very easy for the marketers to align the right promotional tools with each of the market segments. Because again, as I mentioned, that since one size doesn't fit all, we cannot go for mass marketing. We have to customize our marketing. We have to customize the promotions, prices, the branding strategies, marketing strategies around each of these customer segments. Next is the propensity modeling. Again, just goes the next step of customer segmentation. Because once we segment the customers, it's not that each of the customers in a segment has got equal probability to purchase, right? That varies, that changes. That probability to purchase varies even within a segment. So we precisely figure out what's the exact probability of purchase for each of the customers. So accordingly, we take a decision whether to give a discount if the kind of sales is superfluous, the probability of purchase is more than 90% or 95%. There's absolutely no reason, no point in giving the promotions or the discounts. Similarly, if the probability is less than 30%, no matter how much you promote, they might not convert. So we have to figure out the probability of purchase. If the probability of purchase between 60 to 70% and 70 to 80%, the promotions or the discounts or whatever the strategies are, that should vary, that must vary. So that's exactly been figured out by the propensity modeling, the probability of purchase. A recommendation engine we must have all encountered in all our OTT platforms, even in the online retail stores, that what exactly is the next best product or the next best page the customer is going to click. So accordingly, we promote, we bring out the best possible products, services. There are multiple algorithms there like content-based filtering, collaborative filtering. We even match the two things, content-based and collaborative, create the hybrid algorithm and create a very sophisticated recommendation engine, which is used by all the organizations starting from Netflix to YouTube to Amazon. Everyone uses this reco engine. Yeah, next slide, please. Supply chain analytics, again, every step of this field is not possible without the application of analytics. And the mother of everything is demand forecasting. If the demand forecasting is incorrect, then your entire supply chain will go for a toss. In the sense that the customers will line up in that store or in your digital platform, and you don't have the right products to give it. So demand forecasting is the most critical, where every product at every store, not only product, I would say every SKU of every product for maybe the hundreds or thousands or even millions of stores or for every customer, it has to be forecasted precisely. Inventory optimization, we all know that we cannot hold the goods, we cannot hold the different products at our warehouses. The right product should be right product at the right quantity should be stocked so that our holding cost gets minimum and no customer is dissatisfied by not getting the product. So we have to optimize the product quantity, how much should we stock and how much should be in the pipeline so that we know that all our customers are catered with the products. Replenishment analytics again is very much related with the inventory optimization, that how much to replenish, which one to replenish, when to replenish, where from to replenish. So every decision of that is taken by the mathematics and statistics. Network planning and optimization, what should be our manufacturing unit, what would be our distribution centers and what should be the store, what should be the location of each of the things, and how should my network flow from the distribution center to the warehouses, to the customers, to the stores. Everything has been planned. What should be my network model? That's been planned in a very precise manner. Transportation analytics, one of the most popular algorithm you must be all knowing is the shortest path algorithm, precisely done by the Dijkstra's algorithm, where we figured out what is the shortest path any of the transportation good or the salesperson should take so that the cost of traveling, cost of transportation is minimized and my sales gets maximized. There are of course multiple variants to it. Variants in the sense the multimodal transportation, like we don't depend nowadays only on one particular transportation mode. There are multiple transportation modes like the ships, air, road, and what should be the right proportion in terms of the cost, efficiency. So a lot of variables come and then we develop the models for that. Next slide, please. So financial analytics, again, finance is another area. As I'm discussing, none of the areas for that matter, we cannot take any decision without analytics or without statistics, without mathematics. That's the backbone of business. So credit risk model, whom to give a loan, how much to give the loan, whom to issue a credit card. If I'm issuing, first of all, whether to issue or not to issue. If I'm taking a decision, yes, this person can be issued a credit card, how much should be the credit limit? So we precisely define those things. There are multiple sophisticated algorithms for that, which starts from the very basic decision trees to goes to the random forest, and the most popular one in the industry currently is the extreme gradient boosting. Even the latest deep learning techniques also come, and then we develop very sophisticated credit risk model. Fraud analytics, it's not only determining whether a transaction is fraud or not, but also that has to determine on a real-time basis. Once the credit card gets punched, a lot of variables are there, starting from your location to the location where the credit card gets punched, when was last transaction took place, how far was that, so, and what is the quantum of the transaction, how reliable is that point of sales is. So hundreds of variables go into the transaction part, and on a real-time basis, it gets figured out whether what's the probability of probability of fraud of a particular transaction. Automated trading, gone are those days honestly, where the trader comes, open the portal, and then figure out when to invest, in which stock to invest, when the stock will go up or not, when to enter the market, when to exit the market. Every small, minute decisions are being taken by the algorithms. So it's the entire world is moving towards automated trading, automated algorithms. It's a kind of algorithm-driven trading. That's what we say, algo trading. So analytics persons develop all these algos and then put it into the system. They sell those algos, and then the investors, the brokers, they all purchase the algos, and then they make money out of the capital market. Not only capital, even the derivatives market for that matter. Claims analytics, again, we need to figure out whether the claim is to be approved or rejected. And again, depends on several other variables which comes into place. And we also look at what is the authenticity of those transactions. Actual analytics, the entire insurance industry for that matter, depends completely on analytics. Say you have to define or design a retirement plan policy, a pension plan policy, or even a life insurance policy. What should be the premium? What should be the entire coverage? Everything is designed in a mathematical manner. So analytics has got massive, huge applications in finance. Yeah, next slide, please. Retail analytics. Yeah, that's perhaps one of the sectors I have taken, and that is very close to our supply chain, because if the supply chain is not robust, is not driven by solid analytics, a retail cannot exist, cannot survive simply. So the first thing is the automation of planogram. What is planogram? You must all be knowing that planogram is what particular products to be kept within the store and at what point of time for the particular customers. Not only products, as I mentioned, it's always at the SKU level. So the entire decisions are being taken in an automated way. So analytics takes a major role, not only in figuring out the SKU sizes, but also the color, the brands, the entire category composition, the category management, the merchandising part. Every decision is automated. So as I mentioned that, supply chain is the mother of this retail analytics. So demand forecasting for every product at every store at specific time frames. What is the expected sales of a particular SKU between 7 to 8 p.m. in a particular store? That's been precisely predicted. If that goes wrong, then you will have dissatisfied customers. Ultimately, the brand value will go down. So simulations of what if scenarios for new product launches. A new product is going to be launched. We actually create the simulation models that yes, if with this kind of price, in this kind of geography, what should be the probability of sales and what should be your profit? So if the store opens slightly, 1 hour earlier or closes 1 hour later, what is the cost vis-a-vis what's the kind of profit? So a lot of what if scenarios by data analytics were developed. All the pieces of marketing analytics, starting from the pricing analytics, promotion analytics, branding, are very much an integral part of the retail analytics. And we do micro optimizations across assortment. Again, retail space, is like real estate. It's the most precious, most valuable. So what should I have the right assortment in a retail sales so that my sales gets maximized with the minimization of the space? So a lot of this assortment optimization, allocation, pricing optimization continuously takes place. Actually, this happens on a real-time basis. So continuous data gets fed from the POS terminal, how much sales is taking place, optimization algorithm is there, data gets fed in the database, algorithm comes, meet there, decision gets generated, decision gets implemented by the store personnel. So it's a kind of continuous real-time process. Next slide, please. Network analytics, again, another area, IT area, which people think or might have a kind of perception that yeah, IT is somewhat, kind of immune from analytics. No way. One popular algorithm is the leaky bucket algorithm. Even before going to each of them, let me tell you, like there can complete, you might not even expect when a lot of footprints or the footfalls, digital footfalls might happen to your website. So leaky bucket algorithm is like that is you always create a hole at the bottom of the bucket so that even the inputs are unsteady. But if the hole is a kind of with a measured diameter, with a kind of precise diameter of the hole, then the outflow from that bucket will always be constant. The same thing happens for the customers who comes to your websites or in your portal. You have a kind of steady flow, and then you can ensure that yeah, your server, your entire cloud is kind of stable. So that's exactly the predicting the organizational needs for the bandwidth by monitoring usage patterns with time. So that's how we optimize that with these algorithms, that what should be the right hole of that bucket so that most of my customers get satisfied without any kind of problem. So predicting maintenance of servers is another important thing. Professor Rao mentioned about this Markov chain, MCMC, Markov chain Monte Carlo, or even the Bayesian network. We precisely figured out, yes, what could be the causes, what exactly are the root causes. Maybe B is impacted by A is impacted by C is impacted by D, E, F. So in that, we created a chain, and we can precisely predict, hey, the probability of failure of your server is this much, say 0.657, because there is something happening at C. So we have got the IoT data that continuous, the sensor data is data is there that continuously generates the data, and that gets analyzed, and we always come out with a solution to prevent any kind of failure. Automated security by real-time scanning of input-output data. So that's a very important part. It's not that the security of the network is being taken care by looking at what is coming and somebody's. It doesn't happen like that. It is absolutely automated better. We have got the kind of algorithms which can figure out what kind of images are coming. what kind of codes are coming. And if those images, if those codes by our AI ML algorithms, we found that this is somehow breaching our company policy or organization policy, client policy, automatically that would be restricted. So that's the kind of beauty of network analytics. Obviously, resource allocation optimization, be it the hardware, software, bandwidth, everything has been continuously optimized with, as I mentioned, with very sophisticated algorithms, not by those traditional integer programming. It's by the genetic algorithms, encoding optimization, taboo search, swarm particle optimization. We use that, and real-time optimization on cloud architecture for performance maximization. Whatever may the cloud be, AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, everywhere these optimization techniques always monitor the performance of the cloud, because the customers are coming with the pay-per-use model. They always, you have to be ensured as a kind of cloud manager that each of your customers are super satisfied whatever they are paying for. They must be getting all the resources, be it the software or the hardware. So that is possible only when your optimization techniques, optimization algorithms are working continuously on a real-time manner, and accordingly decisions are being automated. So these are the kind of few applications. I would be glad to take questions further. And last but not the least, I would like to say that this is exactly this kind of techniques, topics will be discussed in our conference. So all are most welcome to attend, and we'll be more than happy to walk you through the real life applications in our conference.
Thank you very, very much, Dr. Tuhin. Just one question or curiosity, many years back when Google and internet became so popular, there used to be a question asked, where were so many questions being asked before Google was invented? And the same question to you now, sir. With LIC always existed for more than 75 years, and Apna Bazaar and Sarkari Bandars of the world existed. Actually, science is an old science globally. How was that done without and before AI, ML, and data?
So that's an evolution, partly Professor Rao also covered. The evolution started long back, statistics, marketing research, then data engineering comes. Not only the evolution of statistics, data engineering comes when we have got sophisticated databases, not only about the databases again vary. Now, say for example, if I have to do for sentiment analysis, I can't have the traditional databases. I require MongoDB. Professor Rao talked about the social media data. So we require the, say, the graph, for graph databases, we require the Node.js. So the databases evolved, the algorithms evolved. From the traditional classical statistics, we move to machine learning. From machine learning, we move to deep learning. So it's a kind of a combination of the power of data engineering, data science, and then that gives the wing for these businesses to fly.
Perfect. I'm sure in the conference, which is there next month, we will cover all of this into separate practical tracks.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, I'm also going to take a workshop.
You are taking a workshop.
We are going to take that. Yeah.
Super. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
So when we have such a phenomenal conference happening in India, in Bangalore next month, details are there in the chat windows. It is also important to know who are the people who are doing this conference. What is the credibility? What is this ISDSI Global? So I'm going to request my old friend and industry colleague, Dr. Ravi-Kumar Jain, founding director of Global Business School, a new business school coming in Noida, New Delhi. Also very strong administrator, industry veteran leader, created a lot of brands in the academia and education space in India. So Dr. Ravi, probably a few thoughts from you on what are the activities and roles which ISDI Global does, and keeping in mind the new upcoming conference. But I'm sure Dr. Rao is going to spend a lot of more time with us on the conference. But as an organization, what is ISDI Global? We would like to hear from you, Dr. Ravi.
Thank you so much, Dr. Samir. Such a joy to be in the company of Dr. Vithala Rao and Dr. Tuhin, Chattopadhyay, and other friends from ISDSI and ASMA, and all the participants this evening. I am very happy to share that the journey of ISDSI started way back in 2007, 15 years ago, and the 2020s conference which 𝐵𝐥𝐶𝐚 is hosting is the 16th conference. And ISDSI has earned the distinction of being a biggest platform, academic platform in India. And I keep fondly calling it as from India for the world platform to present your thoughts, present your research work, network with the thought leaders in your respective domains. It's a multidisciplinary conference hosted by top of the schools. All previous conferences were hosted by IIMs, IIT business management departments, IMT Ghaziabad, IIT Mumbai, and so on and so forth. The last conference being hosted by IIM Nagpur turned out to be one of the biggest in the history of ISDSI, with 1,500 participation and 900 plus papers being presented, and around 13 panel discussions that were conducted over a 3 days program. And this year, 𝐵𝐥𝐶𝐚 is also lining up fantastic line of speakers under the leadership of Dr. Vithala Rao, Dr. Parshuraman, and a very dynamic Dr. Chattopadhyay and his team. This webinar series is a run-up to the conference where we try to develop that interest and also present as to what this conference can give you in terms of takeaways. So this is the first webinar in that series. This year we started a little late due to obvious reasons of Corona and other things. But then, a well begin is half done. So this webinar started on a very good note, where a very powerful session on the need for data analytics and data sciences and how powerful they are for the business decision making are highlighted. And we are going to have subsequently a couple of more webinars before the actual conference happens on 27, 28, 29 December in Bangalore. So I request all the people present here to talk about it, spread the word, and participate in full fervor and with all your latest research. I will also share here that the conference and this entire platform was championed by Professor Bhimrai Maitri, one of the top academic administrator and thought leader in academics in India. And I've been working with him for the last 15 years. And our team from New Zealand to, I keep saying from Pacific to Atlantic, from New Zealand to Asia Pacific countries to Central Asia and Western part of the world. Almost 13 to 18 countries represent every year. And last year, again, we had a record of more than 20 countries representing. This year also, we're expecting a great participation by international champions. And more importantly, Dr. Jagdish Sheth would be the guest and the keynote. He would address the gathering with his keynote address during the inaugural session. So with that, I rest my comments here. Thank you so much, Samir, for the opportunity. And I invite all of you all to participate in the conference.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jain, for just giving us insights on what wonderful work ISDSI has been doing for the last decade and a half. Thank you very much. Dr. Rao, I'm back to you. Want to take this opportunity for you to deep down into what actually is going to happen in this 3-day conference.
Yeah, let's start the slides again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. This is, okay, we can go to the next slide. Next slide. Okay. As Dr. Jain has mentioned, this will be at 𝐵𝐥𝐶𝐚, in Bangalore, December 27, 29. Okay. Now let's go to the next slide. I will get into details. If people want to see the process of registration, hotels and all that, this website is the best one. 𝐵𝐥𝐶𝐚.edu.in/ISDSI 2022. And it lists out all the. Now the conference, the theme was building sustainable businesses in the phygital world. I think many of the papers are leading to this. And the conference consists of several technical sessions, academic workshops, and several panels. Okay, I'll describe them as we go through. One of the panels is the directors come together, and the many industry people panel, editors panel, and also some are operational about the business school, how to get accreditation, and the last one is how to internationalize the business school. These are the panels. And let's go to the next slide. Now, papers that are presented here can be published in various ways. We have actually identified several journal tie-ups. The Journal of Indian Business Research, this comes from IIMB, Journal of Global Operations and Strategic Sourcing. These two have agreed to put out some special issues based on the papers from this conference. And then there are many other journals who have agreed to look at these papers carefully and publish. These are the three: Journal of Promotion Management, Young Consumers, and the Learning Organization. Now, the important point to make here is for the motivating the for good papers. There are in all 6 prizes, in 3 in each category. One is doctoral students category, the other is faculty and others. And the prizes are very good. You know, first prize goes with $1,000, second $750, and third $500. Therefore, there is a process by which these will be evaluated based on the written document and also the presentation. Now, talking about the next slide. Now, there are various technical sessions, and these are called tracks. One is on AI, other is on business responsibility and sustainability, the digital economy, data science applications, future of work, innovation entrepreneurship, technology adoption, cybersecurity, and design thinking, and Industry 4.0. Now, these are called technical sessions. These are held essentially in the morning. We plan to have about 15 or 16 sessions. Some of the topics are more subscribed, therefore they will be, the papers will be presented in more than one session. So these are the technical sessions. Now, if you go to the next one, these are the academic workshops given by experts in each of these fields. One is technology-driven marketing. This is where AR and VR will be discussed. Supply chain dynamics, managing innovation, choice modeling, which is at the base of many of these models, and the publication strategies and data engineering. And the bottom list is machine learning by itself, some new developments in the retail analytics, and how to do experiments in digital businesses, because that is how we collect data, evaluate which is better, and explainable AI. This is a new concept that is evolving, and then data-driven research in supply chain. These are the, how many are there? 11 workshops which are being run. These will be done in the afternoon, some in the evening, because many of these are being presented by people in the US and elsewhere to connect them. The Indian time, these will be done in the evening time. And the next one, which I'll just mention, what you already, let's go to the next slide. Why should we attend this conference? This is talking about the audience in the webinar. Dr. Jain actually alluded to this, but these are, first one is you can meet international researchers, top ones, and industry practitioners, and engage with them. This is much of it can be done face to face. And the second one is industry panels, and then there is the opportunity to network, particularly at the dinner time and so on. The third one or they are going the other way, attending workshops, panels, and so on. These will happen only in in-person mode, that you cannot attend on offline and trying to get advantage of it. And then best paper awards are to the authors who present full papers in person. And the last slides will give some the details, dates of the conference, 27, 28, 29 in December of this year. And venue is in the 𝐒𝐥𝐸𝐵 campus, and also the nearby hotel will be used in Electronic City, Bangalore. This is the registration link, which I mentioned before. Okay, I hope that gives you sufficient information about the general topics and what the conference. Okay, we can take some questions if you have. I'm sure audience may have some questions, and we can take them. We all are here still. We can answer some questions.
Rao sir, thank you very much. Audience, the links for this conference is already given you in the chat for registrations. The organizers at Jackson School and ASMA are already in touch with your institution and your companies. The brochures for the same, the links, everything has been shared. But it is now up to you. How do you take the advantage of this opportunity? Meet the best minds in the space of data, technology, sustainable technologies in this 3-day conference. So mark your dates for this. You know, this is going to be one of a kind event. It's going to be in person, which is again an added addition where you meet the right people and set the next 2023 in place for you. You know, that's important. Academicians, great opportunity to be featured in some of the best journals. Best paper competition also gives an opportunity to really engage, discuss, debate your thoughts with industry practitioners, validate things. So make the best use of this. Thank you very much, everybody. Dr. Rao, thank you very much for your early morning time from US. Dr. Tuhin, thank you very much for putting together the entire, making it so simply understandable for everybody. Dr. Ravi, looking forward to see you there. And ASMA team, Jackson, thank you very much. My name is Dr. Samir Karkhanis, and we will meet soon. Thank you very much. Have a great time.
Thank you so much, Samir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. Thank you, Dr. Chattopadhyay.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Ravi. Thank you, Dr. Rao. Thank you, Dr. Samir. And thanks the entire audience. Thanks the backend team who worked continuously, including Mr. Tanujit, Mr. Ravi. Thanks, everyone.
And
Thank you.
now, if there are any questions, you can send emails and we can answer. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Because if we didn't pick up any in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.